this so far, I think.
Alright, welcome everybody. So, let's see, yep, looking at the right one. I kind of forgot about the whole quote thing, so I just looked for thoughtful quotes and saw a Dr. Seuss one. I still need to double check and make sure that is Dr. Seuss, but hope people wouldn't lie about that sort of thing. But anyways, I was also adding some more to the Python um, playground, doing some debugging stuff. Eventually, it'll be actually you can see it here. This is what I have so far. I'm going to add examples of classic bugs, how to find them, how to fix them, stuff like that. Especially, I'm thinking of anything that could help with code clashing, other coding game related stuff. So, well, and the puzzles too. I mean, debugging is pretty important for everyone overall. But I wanted to go ahead and get a jump on Java. So I've been looking into runners and I've got this pulled up. Oh no, that's the C++ one. We've got Java, tried that. So I still haven't quite figured out how to make it compile. Yeah, compile is the word. So it's doc. Wait a minute. Is that all I need to do? We might have actually just. Let's see. Where do I do a pull request? Oh, whoops. Forgot. I basically made just a template for Java so far. I haven't started actually explaining anything about it, just making the uh, same pages as I have for the Python one. But let's go back to. Nah, this is for here. Anywho, that might be closer to what I need to do, but I can still go ahead and get it set up. Let's see, this is Python, here's Java. So on tech.io, this is all I have so far. I've got it should be object. Okay, so it's actually talking about this, yeah, this is Java because I don't have any Java files. So it's talking about right here, there's an issue, but I was trying to add the runner, seeing what works as far as being able to actually compile it. Like we have here, we've got, even though we still have that red, you're actually able to interact with the code. So, you can actually run it and it works. But I don't have that for Java or C++. I'm still struggling around with that, but I'll go ahead and close those out. I mean, it's really easy to find. Like if you just go, let's see, back in the instructions, we've got GitHub repository, but if you look at runner list, all of these, you go to GitHub, Docker Hub, and then you'll actually see these, which are, hey, do this, and it'll work. Yeah, and then the command and stubs are what you need to replace when you actually put it in your playground. Let's see. Well, anyways, this is C++. I'm trying to do Java today, so we'll focus on that. So I have very basic, um, you know, pretty much nothing yet. So in order to fix this, I'm going to, if it'll just know how to comment this out. We'll just take away trying to make the Docker for now. We can always circle back to that. So now it's building, doesn't have all that red, the errors, we're good to go. So I also have all of the different sections spin out, but they are blank as of now. So I still need to fill them in. And I like to start from scratch. Every time I try to explain a language, I don't want to make any assumptions that the person I'm trying to explain it to has any previous coding experience or knows what I'm saying. I don't want them to have to infer anything. And by doing so, you're going to cut down on a lot of confusion down the road. So, like even with the Python, this is still going to be a long time in the works. I got to finish the debugging section. I want to add, control flow. We don't really go too deep into. Like there's a lot more that could be done. So yeah. As far as Java, let's see. Start at the basics. Let's just go ahead and take this. It's the same concept. I really love this grading Oh wait, that's comments. So we have control flow mixed in with comments. Go ahead and do this. Throw it on control flow. And again, eventually this will be interactive. So we'll add the functionality to where the user can test it. Let's see, is it going to let me? Loading. Let's see, how's the lag? Oh, we're doing okay. So, there we go. Control flow. So, if you want to make it its own text box, you gotta tab it in. Let's see, I can tell this is going to be a problem. And it also doesn't line up with that. Let's see if that looks right. So we've got control flow. I mean, the concept is the same as we did for Python. Yeah, there you go. So you can see all of this code ended up in its own box. This actually lines up with the declaration line, stuff like that. So let's go back to hello world. Now we can delete that. As well as that. And then and for the time being, we can always test the stuff. Let's see, do I have it open? No, I'm going to go ahead and open up my Eclipse just so I have, where is it? In fact, we should add, well, first things first, let's go ahead and continue to separate this out. Oops. And put it in its own section while Eclipse is opening up. I already have some tutorials using Eclipse as far as Java, so and you can definitely use Eclipse to test these until I figure out how to use the correct runner and Docker and all that good setup. So, all right, now we're going to remember tab it in. I want to double check is I want to make sure this is a multi-line comment. I know this is a comment in Java, the // but as far as this, I was wrong on Python. I was using, well, not wrong, I was forgetting single quote, triple single quotes, and triple double quotes. Actually, no, I was wrong, because I think I was using these. So, again, let's look at Eclipse real quick. Okay. I mean, either way, it's going to need to be. Oops. Okay. It's about halfway there. While it's doing that, we can go ahead and keep on fixing it. So, to do the classic Hello World program, that actually looks good. I do want to take out, I thought these were necessary, the / comments for this, but apparently it's not. And also, these don't have to be indented all that way. I think it's just the one is how we've been doing those. We should make it uniform too, so we don't get confused later, or anyone else trying to make their own playground gets confused about tabbing. So, alright, what is all this? What? No, just go to... Oh, I see. I see. You need to open... Oh, whatever. We could do a new project. Basically just want to test. Let's see, test. That way I can verify whatever we're working on. Modulo info. Okay, get out of here. Alright. And then a new class file with the main. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to comment multiple lines with Control slash. Interesting. So it just added a double slash comment to every line. Alright, well, let's try our method. Yes, that does look like a multi-line comment. So we've got the... Okay, so I did verify that is correct for Java. So if you go back to comments, this is in fact a multi-line comment. Let's actually... I want to see... No, this will cause an error. So if you have the anything past this slash, it will cause an error. So anything in between the asterisks, let's actually go ahead and say that. So comments. Also, just realized, well, anyways. Comments are, let's see. Comments are very useful in programming. Text that is ignored by compilers and are very useful in programming. There we go. So, can use comments to explain your code to others, debug, and even lay out a blueprint for building your code. Pseudocode. There you go. Okay, and also I just realized this doesn't look like a header, so maybe I do need a comment there to make it appear different. Because again, this is more of like a markup file. I don't really have a lot of experience with these. Yes, there's that. But if you go back to Python, you'll see this is actually more of a header. So it's, you know, it stands out from the others, and this does not. And if we take the comments out, I mean, maybe it's because it is a markup language. We have to use the same comment. How do we have this? This might cause issues. I'm trying to edit two different playgrounds at the same time. No? Okay, but notice it does change the color of the text when you make it into a header. So if you go here, let's see. Okay, there we go. So now you can tell that this should look different. It should appear the way that we're trying to do with the header style. And there we go. So it is # space and then whatever you want to be the header. Alright, but I mean, let's see. Hello world, we're going to change that. So now we need to do a hello. There we go. Hello world. Need all that space. I don't think it matters, but okay. Wait a minute. What do I have main method? I don't know. I started building this about a week back, and this was before I made the breakthrough of how to, all the fancy stuff I did for the Python one. So, let's see. Hello world. Oh yeah, and then we need to talk about it. So, point of hello world. Let's see. Yeah. A new language. Concept is to demonstrate using the output stream to see data in the console. And we need that to be on the console. Oh, does this have a spelling? No. So, probably be a good idea to run all this through a spell checker. Kind of like web development, you get in the habit of, well, I make a lot of typos. My spelling isn't the best. I've been spoiled with, spell checkers just about everywhere. So, let's see. Concept is to demonstrate using the output stream to see the data in the console. Also, wait, didn't I want to put that? I guess it does fit. Let's see. Oh, and then it automatically wraps it around anyway in the view, so it doesn't matter. This is more just logistics for how we want our files to look, because if you look here, we go to one of these markdown languages, we're actually changing these because this is connected to our GitHub. So we can change them here, or we can change them in Tech.io. I'm just staying in Tech.io for now because it's just simpler, but yeah. Alright, to the console. Okay. Alright, and then after that, I want to say this early program also demonstrates, or no, yeah, demonstrates an example of a method. Specifically, this is the main method that is usually, not always, usually included in smaller projects. You can also have a main class file instead of having, see right there, like having main methods in every class file. Actually, I guess we could just leave that. Yeah. Fuel. There we go. Alright. Because yeah, eventually as projects get bigger, you want to have them have just one main to control the whole thing. One ring to rule them all. But otherwise, yeah, when starting out, I usually include a main method in each class just so I can test locally. So, let's see. Alright, now to explain the method a little bit. There are certain keywords in Java that are reserved to serve a specific purpose. In the example above, words like public, no, let's see, not like, of the words public, static, void, system, out, print line, actually before system we should point out string. And specific things. Args. Let's see. Is commonly used, but is really only a variable name that can be changed. Oops. There we go. Just to specify, people might be like, wait, what about args? No, I mean, technically, that's not a reserved keyword. So, everything else, though, I mean, public, static, void, main. So, let's just run through the list. Public refers to, let's see, the availability of the file. Think of permissions to view based on being either public, protected, and private. Alright, and then I actually don't even have a good definition for static. Let me look that up real quick. Static meaning in Java. So I know it's something with a non-access modifier in Java that is applicable for the following: blocks, variables, methods, classes. Let's see. So something to do with creating an object of the class. I don't know, way more advanced for, let's see. I'll go ahead and say something about it. Static is related to memory management, and needing to create objects or not. And then let's see. Say we won't worry too much about, we gotta wrap that around. But it's something to be aware of. Okay. Don't worry about this either for now. Just know that it needs to be included when declaring, or should be defining, methods. We'll just leave it methods for now. Okay. Void refers to what type of data is returned from this method. You will need to make sure that you use the correct label for your method. If you don't need to have anything returned, use the void keyword. Otherwise, This could be int, float, string, or any. Well, let's see. Let's not include string just yet. Float, int, double. Or any primitive variables, variable types. This can also be objects, like string, I don't know, array list. I mean, really any object. Like this can be objects like, oops, we don't need a comma there. Hey, what's up, time traveler? Welcome. Sorry, I've kind of been lost in typing this. See, I had the chat pulled down. Let's see. String array list, or any object. But that way they get kind of an introduction to, oh, wait, array lists are a thing, and then, oh, what about arrays? You know, if they've heard about that or something like that. So, okay. So that's pretty good for a hello world. I mean, eventually I'm going to add the run functionality so then they can see, oh, that prints out hello world, and I can change it. So, let's see. I also want to say here, specifically, we're seeing the value stored in the string. Oh, actually, no, it's not stored in a variable, so we would actually just say it could be the string value between the double quotes. There we go. That's good enough for now. So it also kind of gives them an introduction. Okay, strings, that's a thing. So what's a string? Then later they'll see, you know, because we'll go into primitive variables, and then I know strings aren't technically primitive variables, but I always include them just to see, like, because there are like arrays of chars, and pointing out that idea, that concept is, you know, is useful. So okay. Also, functions. We kind of just jump right into talking about methods in Hello World by talking about the keywords and stuff like that. It's a slightly different take. I might change functions to string manipulation, because in Python we just go talk about, let's see, let's get out of there. We start off with a whole bunch of string manipulation stuff. So, I don't know, it's a different take. We'll see. Anyways, so that's probably good for now. Comments, I mean, I think I want to add more to that, but eventually, I don't know. Let's talk about primitive variables. So, primitive variables, and to make that a header, do that. Okay. Primitive variables are simple single value data that we store for later use. in Java, you need to specify the type of variable whenever you declare a new variable. Types variables are, and then we can do int my int. Oh, I should also talk about camel case too. The difference between camel case and snake case. So, well, for now, let's go ahead and just finish the list. Float my float. Oops. Make sure it's correct syntax, because this is also going to turn into a test thing. Test window. Double my double. Okay. Bool my boolean true. However, Java is more forgiving with print statements and variable types. Okay, and then after that, we'll have a block printing. Actually, let's see, is there a keyword? Type of variable Java. Oh, something else I should probably add to is scope. I didn't talk about that in Python, so we'll just put a note there. Scope. Let's see, but anyways. Print line. My int is okay. This way, you can see each of those, but I want to find if there's, let's see, my int, my float, my double, my char, my boolean. If there's a way to tell the type. I'm sure there is, but I'm not searching it right. Show the type of variable Java. Okay. There are different types of variables. Let's see. Also, let's look at Eclipse and see. Okay. Boolean? Oh, okay, well that's good. It is Boolean. It's not bool in Java. You can't just type bool. Good to know. Okay. So, and my bool. Bool's capital? True? No. It's lowercase t. Okay, also good to know. Okay. Make these the corresponding variables. Okay. And actually, I'm just going to take these, plop them down into Eclipse, just verify. Let's go ahead and save, run it. Oh, I also need this. That would be a thing. Alright, now, what is wrong? What? It doesn't want float to be... Oh. That's right, there is something that happens. Let's see. So if we check declaring float. Alright, this might cause lag. Open up a W3 schools. So I want to do... Sorry, I'm just looking at float. There's something weird you gotta do with it, like have an F. Yeah, it's an F at the end. So this is actually... And off the top of my head, I don't know why you would do that, because I know I've written a program to calculate a floating point number, or convert a number to a floating point number with the exponent, the mantissa, and the exponent, mantissa, and then there was a third part. Anyways, if you want a decimal point in your number, most of the times you just use double, but, well, actually, let's see, can we do, or well, I guess I should do it in Eclipse until I can get the run functionality. Let's do .00001. Okay. This is... Okay, so basically what I just did, just to make sure, maybe you need to have a floating point number for something like this, but it doesn't seem to be the case. The double does account for as many decimal places as you go. In fact, I'm sure there's ways to format it. In fact, I know there is. Some of the clashes on CodinGame and the challenges on Code Wars, they want you to format, just so many decimal places or have an accuracy within so many decimal places. So there are ways. The most popular way, probably, is to get money decimal places. Being able to format a number to a certain, just the 2 decimal points. So, okay, well this works for now, for basic primitive variables. Let's go ahead and move on to the maniac. So I'll talk about the scope, and I'll probably do a lot of this off stream, but eventually I do want to publish at least to go ahead and start. But I really don't like that idea until I figure out the runner. So again, anyways, we got now functions. I should explain, but I don't even know what the difference is between a method and a function. I know there is one, but let's go ahead and close that. That's costing a lot of overhead. In fact, how's that stream? Yeah, it might glitch out there for a sec. Alright. So yeah, the difference between methods and functions, I think it's something to do with the dot operator and whether you're calling it implicitly on this or if it needs arguments. But, let's see. We could go ahead and fix up control flow a little bit. I'm thinking. So, talk about control flow. In programming, you often need to know whether or not to run certain code. This is usually, or these decisions based on if certain factors are true or not. Let's see. The most common way to do this is with if, else, statements. However, can also use switch statements in certain situations. Then, go ahead and give an example of a switch statement. Okay. Let's see, and actually, let's see, so that's the Java one. I'm going to go ahead and go back to my Java GitHub, because I do have a lot of these files already. Like, let's see, so a less simple switch statement. Yeah, we've got month. Okay, I like it. Nope. Going to go ahead and, because once I do get it to where I can execute files, I do that, but I'm going to create a new file, simple switch. Oh, no. It's in snake case too. Ugh. Whatever, I'll use a snake case for the markup languages. Simple switch .java. There you go. So eventually we'll include this as something that... Why? Oh, I guess I was demonstrating how you... Okay. You don't want that initially. I mean, I'll talk about it, but the break statements will make sure that you don't print all of this. So, let's see, the num month returns a string, sets a month equal, okay, then you return month. Alright, so that's a good simple switch. Then I did have, or no, that's less simple switch. Because I have a more simple one. So we go back here to the Java files, simple switch. Wait a minute. Ooh. Simple switch should be weak. Or I don't know. It could be weak, it could be, you know, favorite color, or something that just has less choices. So, okay, well anyways, for now, or I already have it on the clipboard, for now, we can actually just include, wait a minute. What happened? Did it not save? It did not save. And I navigated away. Alright, well, either way, I can always edit this later. So, I was actually up late last night trying to figure out what I need to add to the Python one, so now I'll do the Java. Yeah. Anyways. We'll have an example of a switch statement, and I can explain it later. However, we need to make sure this is all... Well, first, let's see how that looks. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to tab that. Yeah. But, I mean, at least all the code is... With the exception of that. And this is a class, less simple switch. With a helper method. It's getting pretty complex, so I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking maybe we leave off this stuff once we get it into the runnable, like, you know, just have this, because if you look at the Python one, you know, we don't have... Yeah, it's just the function and just some test cases. We don't have, like, you know, run this, although, or a main function or anything like that. We just have some commands and stuff, so... Alright. Just have it for there. Go back to primitive variables. Got that. Scope, we'll talk about scope. Loops. Come on. And let's actually see if I already have a loops file. Because I've done a stream actually with using all Eclipse with a Java tutorial, so that's over there on the YouTubes. But loops, what did I have for this? So we got for loops, we've got while loop, do have a do while. Okay, cool. We're gonna just borrow all of this. Yeah, again though, not all of it. Let's just take that. Okay. Go ahead and put it as a placeholder in here. Alright. And of course we still need to add an explanation, but first let's get it gussied up and make it look nice with a header. Then tab that in, plop the code in, make sure it all lines up, and there we go. So, and we can also go ahead and start adding a description. So, loops are useful when you want to do the same thing but many times. Same thing, just many times. Or you want, well, let's see, I'm trying to many times, but also I want to make it known that you're not doing technically the same exact thing, or you are changing certain things, like you're changing the index, or, you know, whatever the case may be. So yeah, and actually I had recursion in here as a loop type, so I might actually just keep it that way. I have recursion as its own section on Python, but it probably could be just kind of bunched in there, because if you look at it, it's really short. I mean, it just shows an example. It says, yeah, it's very basic, in fact. Well, I don't want to, because again, we're getting into defining functions, whereas with Java, when you talk Java, you're talking declaring methods. So, and again, I'm going to need to research. In fact, let me make a note. Let's put the note in this one. For off-stream, the boring things that I'll do some research on. So, look up the official difference between functions and methods. Because I know there is one, but it's not something that is very effective. I mean, at least when you're starting out. So, it's just more of like a terminology like data and data. So, alright. If you already know exactly how many times you want the loop to run, iterate, you should for loop. If you want the loop to be scalable for varying sizes, iterations, use a while loop. If you want process to happen once and then a loop, use a do while loop. However, do while loops might not exist in other languages. Python. There are ways to simulate a do while loop as well as simulate any type of loop and even recursion with the other types. And then, yeah, let's go ahead and save it this time so we don't lose all that editing that we just did. And then, let's see. Oh, also, you don't want those indented, because then they become included in the code blocks. So, we want them up against the wall. Just take out all these tabs. There we go. Now it'll look like the description, and then the code, and then probably more description. Alright, sweet. Okay, now, so yeah, recursion we don't necessarily need, but I might replace that with something else. I do need to change this to methods. We have primitive variables, we got basic for control flow. Now data structures, I don't think I actually have that file. I might, or that type of file in my already existing Java things. Now I've got debugging. What was question? I think this was to demonstrate objects. Yeah. So I was making question objects for my hand raised project. So I'd like to nail down all the basics first before we get into object programming, because I don't know, that could be a whole thing. So let's go back to what else are we trying to do for the basic outline. We could do example algorithms. I think I have, let's see, what do I have in the way of that? Do have a rot 13. Let's go ahead and see how that one is. Oh, it's using a massive switch. Oh, that's so ugly. Well, I mean, it works, so. I wonder, we could actually get into making a dictionary in Java. I mean, what is a dictionary but an array list of tuples? So, I'm thinking it could be done. Well, let's go ahead. Let's get it. This is so ugly, though. Right, I think we found... This might be what we turn one of the other tabs into. Let's see, so if we go into recursion, let's actually just plop that down and just do switch statement algorithm. It's going to be massive. Now, what I could do is just take these comments, because I do discuss the concept of circular arrays, just like in the Python one, and then, you know, there's your check for is uppercase. Okay, so actually, let's see how that looks. Although, actually no, I say that, but because eventually this will just be a file that they can play with and run, but for now, no. What we should do is just make a pop out later. So like down here, talk about the concept of a circular array. Yeah, I just don't know if I feel good about putting this. Let's save it and see how it looks. that's going to turn some people away from learning Java. So actually, let me make a note. Try making dictionaries in Java. Maybe array list of tuples, question mark. There's probably a few different ways to do it, but there's going to be a lot of things that are more appealing than that. So, let's see. Also name this switch statement algorithm. So, we'll leave it for now. Since we kind of absorbed recursion into the other one, let's go ahead and change tech.io statement recursion. We'll change that to statement algorithm. Actually, maybe I should leave it like that, because then I could show a much cleaner way to do it. I like that. So this is an example of how bad it can get when you're doing code, and then optimizing it, cleaning it up, refactoring. Okay, so I'll leave it for now. Let's see, this should... Oh, it changed it already. Cool. So... methods can... Well, let's make that objects, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it. So, since we talk about functions in the hello world thing, we've already kind of covered that. We'll change that to objects, and then we'll be able to just do a brief explanation, starting with strings. So yeah, right after primitive variables, we can talk about how strings are objects. I like that. Go back to there. Primitive variables, objects. And then, might want to move data structures right after objects. I don't know. Let's at least make the header objects. There we go. How are we doing on time? Let's see. Well, not bad. Do I have anything else snazzy though, as far as out on this? I don't think I've really done a lot. Just question and yeah. Although we could add, let's see, where's the debugging section? Did I have a debugging? I don't. Yeah, we'll just add it. So, whoops, go to the playground. Debugging. Make that statement 10. Okay. Right, I need to make edit. Okay. But add a new file. Go statement 10. Can even do it here. Debugging. Cool. So now, go to debugging. We'll see the header. Okay. Now this I was thinking about on my last walk. Definitely want to know or explain. There are many things that can go wrong when programmed. Most basic categories. Oh, well, wait. In computer science, we call these bugs. Of bugs are syntax and logic bugs. Let's see. Actually, I could be missing one. Let me look at that real quick. Types of bugs. Java. Bugs in software testing. And then types of errors. Alright, well basically I do want to make sure that it's split to at least syntax and logic. So syntax is where you forget, where you have a typo in your code. This could be forgetting a semicolon, curly bracket. Let's show what those are too. Parenthesis. Well, or any other symbol required for the code to be compiled. There we go. So you can also do parentheses, and really single quotes, double quotes. Yeah. Then some examples of that. I think I actually do have. So if we look into debugging, yeah, I gave example ones and why. But I mean, for that, right, we could just, let's go ahead and save that. And then go back to Hello World, and we're just going to take that and show all the different things that could go wrong with syntax with this example. So we'll plop it down a few different times. Also, I don't know why I'm typing this as code. This needs to be text. Now this needs to be, go and just take that out. Oops. Or take out the semicolon. Let's see. Missing semicolon. You could be missing curly bracket. Missing a semicolon. Oops. Misspelling a keyword. public. Static vid. There we go. Okay, so different examples of syntax bugs, and then logic bugs. Let's see. Also, all of these systems need to be over. They don't need to be, and I need to clarify that somewhere in the beginning, that indentation doesn't affect... Oh, actually I could say it here. In Java, indentation won't affect... Let's see, indentation or any white space really won't affect if your code compiles or not. However, it is good practice to organize your code with proper spacing. There we go. Let it be known, let it be said, because it is always better to look at someone's code. You know, when you get into the industry, you don't want to look at someone's code that's all against the wall or all one single line. You know, it's just not good. So, then there's that. Okay. Let's see. So how's this looking? If we were to just visit this, it's coming in. You know, you don't want to scare them away with too much writing, but I mean, learning program's difficult no matter which way you split it, so there's going to be a toss-up either way. But let's see, comments, nice and simple. Primitive variables, talk about scope. Let's see. Actually, what we should do, let's make that a header. Then let's talk about it. Scope refers to whether a variable is able to be used in different parts of the code. This can also be thought of as relevancy. If you... Now let's see. I also wanted to talk about global variables and local variables. Alright. Yes. When declaring variables, can either declare global or local variables. Declaring a variable globally, means that you are able to use it class file. We'll specify that because variables are still, let's see. Well, I say that, but then, you know, you can still use, that might be getting a little too difficult, using variables from other class files, like protected and public, and for this we'll just keep it, Actually, I don't know. It could be a thing. Because as I'm writing these, I'm trying to think of ways to show the code. You know, something quick that I could jot down that would demonstrate it. Alright. We'll specify local variables. declared, used, and only available in the methods which you declared them in. That's getting a little wordy. Let's see. Local variables are declared, used, and only available in the methods which you declared them in. Could be better, but I'm sure I'll run a couple passes of editing before I actually publish this. I mean, I'd like to get it running. I mean, I kind of jumped the gun last time with the Python one. I published it and people were looking at it before you could actually run it. So, oh, also, this is meant to be, there we go. Okay. Alright, so comments, primitive variables, objects. I need to talk about constructors. Declaring new objects, examples of that. Strings, though. Yeah. Let's see. Are often lumped in with primitive variables, but they are actually what we consider objects. Objects are more complex variables that are capable of storing multiple values. Let's see. Because really, when you're talking objects, that describes just about anything. I mean, I know I've done examples of, student and employee objects before, and then just all the different types of fields that you would have contained within that object. But if you really think about it, all objects are data structures. It's a structure to contain data that is more complex than the single data value, or the single variable. So, strings are often lumped. They're actually... Let's see. In the case of strings, you're storing and using an array of chars, characters, or letters. There we go. Also, we need these against the wall. And then I'm definitely going to need to do some research on this, but I'm going to go ahead and do the headers. Arrays, because we need to talk about that. Array lists, those are really important in Java. 2D arrays, oh yeah, real quick, I want to do on the Python one, let's see, data structures. Oh, wait, oh, did I mess it up? Let's save this before we start jumping around. 2D arrays or lists of lists. That's something really important, especially for CodinGame and the clashing. There's a lot of stuff. So data structures. Or actually, yeah, I can change this. I won't upset anyone. Let's see. Lists of lists. Binary search trees, or trees in general, and graphs. So these are all coming soon, things that I want to research, get the algorithms for. Like, I know graphs especially, there's, all the different ways to search, and yeah, it gets intense, and I'm not very good with them. I need more practice, admittedly, but yeah. Let's see. We got... Anyways, trying to get geared up for some InfoSec streams coming up. So basic blue teaming security concepts. So I'm working on a couple colleagues with that. Thinking up useful projects for that. But we gotta be careful with what we can actually do streams about. But blue teaming is okay, protecting yourself, that's fine. So, alright, we got that. And then objects, arrays, array lists, and same thing. 2D arrays. Should I even go into image? Well, at least binary search trees and graphs. Let's see. Let's save that for now. So we've got little stubs for all of them. And then, though, yeah, we have redundancy. We've got data structures here. Then we're going into them early here. I think we could pretty much do away with the data structures tab and just keep it involved in this. Yeah, so I'm going to do that and then say I want it should be its own separate thing. Maybe objects should be reserved for like employee, student. I don't know. I'll think on that. And then add that. Let's see. An example algorithms. Need to do something. I need to clean up. Do a better version of Rot 13. This is just horrible. I mean, it works. It's actually pretty nifty. If I had the right Docker and runner, I could show you that. This gets rotated into this and then in reverse. But it is only using the single adjustment for modding. Should be modulo 26 if we wanted to adjust for. I don't know. I want to show the basic version like we did in Python because that's important to know that, this is how to do it once for values that expect, but then to make sure that it's scalable for any value, no matter how ridiculous values through this. But, even if you are, the modulo would have it, would adjust it accordingly. So, I don't know. But my main concern is just how big this is, just how massive. So, well, that does remind me, we could go back to control flow and talk more about switch, the structure of switch statements. So, let's do that. And let's actually, oops, let's make that a header. There we go. Okay, so, switch statements. Let's see what to say about switch statements. They take an input, and then they compare that input to different cases. Let's see. Cases. Depending on which case the input matches, different lines of code will execute. What are we doing? that was typed here. That's the keyword break is used to make sure that only those lines are executed. If you want multiple cases to execute, simply remove keyword break. There we go. So when we do get it to where people can play around with it, that'll be something that they'll take a look at. Like, let's see what prints out if I take away all the breaks, you know, or maybe I could even, and I think that's why I have some of these commented out. In fact, I'll say that. Notice there are a couple break statements commented out already. So that'll inspire them to kind of play around with it, toggle with it. Alright, save that. Control flow needs to be a header. There we go. Alright, so I think we're getting close. Like, I mean, all I'm really waiting on is just how to, the right Docker and the right, let's see. And we also have a couple options too. We've got, if we want to use JUnit with it, we've got a specific one for that. Or we've got just Java and Maven. I think that's it for Java. Yeah. So again, and I think I actually, just out of curiosity, yeah, so I added this, but this makes me think that you need to pull that, edit your CodinGame. Okay, example, your project root. Okay, let's try this out. So eventually we want this section of code to become this. Try changing the text that is printed out. And then here, I mean, I want to say this just turns to a dot. So I don't have it separated out into source folders. I'm very lazy with this. Actually isn't even, this is my other Java. Here's the Java playground. Everything's just on one level. I don't have a hierarchy because that's what was working for Python. Like as soon as I started messing with it, yeah, it's a big headache to maintain. I mean, eventually I want to clean it up, but for now, like having it all in the one thing, I'm not too worried about it. But to do something like this, like we would want, or to test this, we'll take this and put it in its own hello world file here in our project. So if we add a file, hello world dot Java. Okay, and that, we also need this here. Okay. So now, in our markup, we would do, oh, no, dang it. I hate it when it does that. Alright, let's do this again. Go here. I need this. But as soon as I save it, it's going to break the project, and then until I figure out what's going on with it. So we got this. We'll just leave it at that for now, and then this will be hello world. And this is dealing with testing. I don't want testing on it. Let's see, is there a... I mean, eventually I want to get into testing. That's like a whole nother realm. I mean, that gets into QA, and there's plenty of tools and things that, you know, go into that. If you're trying to do QA as a career path, there's a lot more than this that you'll need to know. I mean, JUnit's good, like, you know, for unit testing, but you also want to look into things like Selenium and, I don't know, there's a lot of stuff out there. Alright, but for this, for our purposes, because I already added this, just to be sure. Oh, wait. But I thought the command was Javac. Or Java C. Oh, for this runner. Did I click the test one? I thought, no. I thought I clicked the, That's weird. What if I don't want the test? Okay. This compiles project thanks to Maven. To use this runner for your project, we did that. Go ahead and save this, so I don't want to have to keep pasting it. And it's going to break. We're going to see unable to use test cases when no project has been declared. Oh, come on. Let me edit it again. I want to fix it. Alright, let's leave and come back. Okay. Can we just take this out? That's a question. Let's actually take the whole thing out, including the comma, so that doesn't... No, we need the curly bracket. It's probably not going to work, but it was irrelevant. Also here, well, it's only test one thing at a time. Because I also need to change this, since I don't have source, main, Java, hello world. I just have my Java files in the main one. I think I need to just change that all to a dot slash. And then, see errors. Still have an issue with the test cases. So if we leave and come back, edit. Well, why not? Let's go ahead and just check. Worst case, I can just always copy this back from the thing, but no test cases. Just run hello world.java. Yeah, it's still really not liking that. Of course, I saw this with C++ too. I don't know what that actually... I mean, use test cases when no project has been declared. So, I think that's actually relating to... If you look at the tech.yml... Oh, well, actually that's part of it. I commented this out because I was trying to play around with it and fix it. Let's uncomment it. And I think this is still wrong, but at least, you know, this will get us closer and closer. Okay, now what's it saying? Java should be an object. Okay, I've seen this one before. So, let's look back at the instructions. Okay. So these are the statements, and then project goes here. Example. Your project root. Yeah, but since this isn't existent, see, they need an example of what it looks like in the YML file. Like, this is confusing. I don't get, and this is the repository for Git. But, I mean, like, do I have to set up this test structure? Because I know that's how it is in Eclipse. If we look at Eclipse here, you know, all these files are in the source folder, and then, yeah, you've got your Java files and then your class files. Oh. I have this part right. Because if you look at... Oh yeah, see? No, there are differences. We're looking at just the Maven 3 runner. And then you click at this one, I have the test one open. The JUnit runner. And that... Is that JUnit 14? Yeah, we're not even talking about JUnit, but yet it wants us to do a test, so... Oh wait, at each play it runs a specific test using the... Oh, maybe that's the compiler command. See, again, when I learned Java, I didn't learn any of this stuff. Like, I'm sure they mentioned it in one of the classes, but like we were so busy with all the other things that I think that got swept under the rug. But I mean, I've heard about Maven before. I don't know what it entails. I know about Ant, that it exists. Other than that, I don't know. So compiling the code, it's a big hang up. That's why I've always just used Eclipse. Like, I don't know. I haven't done anything like in a Linux environment or anything. So, but I do have this. That's my runner, as according to right here. Oh no, I'm doing the wrong runner. Well, let's fix that. Let's try to do it without the JUnit. Eventually I'll want to do a JUnit, but for now, let's keep it simple, beginning concepts only. And, oh well, testing is important. I prefer to teach testing and debugging with print statements over like GDB or any official debugger. Just because, I mean, yeah, it's quicker, it's easier. Not always the case, but for most of them. Let's see. Now this, I'm a little worried about because these don't line up. I'm wondering if that is a thing. Because like I know spacing matters in this. So we've got 2 spaces for these. And if we actually go and save that, let's see what our project's telling us now. It's different. Runner. Error in the configuration file. Mapping values are not allowed here in string line 27 column 19. Okay, so it has an issue with us doing something here on line 27. Oh, that's why. You can't double up the runner. Alright, so let's take that out. Oops. Now let's see what it's telling us. Give it a bit to think. There we go. Java, yes. 25. So I'm thinking there is an issue with that. So if we look at, let's go back to the Python playground. So that's this one. And now it's easier to see. So if you are looking at this at my GitHub and stuff and you want to see some of these, you can see that the files are C++, Java, or Python. So never mind the name. I'm not changing it for now. I don't want to break anything, but you know, if it's broke, don't fix it. This is my motto. So we got this. We'll go to, where's the techio? And just compare and contrast these. So right away I notice Python's longer of a word, but the colons line up. So except for that. So if we were to do the same concept here, wait a minute. Runner doesn't line up, but it lines up with root. So with here, it does line up with root already, but since Java is a shorter word, also, does it need to be not capitalized? So that might be a thing. Let's not capitalize Java. Who knows? Okay. What are we saying now? Oh wait, we gotta give it time. Let's see. Saw the loading bar happening. Okay. So, still, should be an object. Okay, so... Whereas for here, we have Python. I haven't created anything that's called Python. If you look in here, like there's no file just named Python. The project isn't even named Python. It's playground-hbgs. So as far as how it's seeing my project, I haven't quite figured out where that's coming from yet. So in fact, I still haven't even changed test universe, and I think universe is in here too. Yeah, universe. So that makes me think maybe I just need to change the spacing. So let's see, how many spaces? One, just two, which is the same as the statement. So if it's looking for files, maybe it does need to have just two spaces. I mean, now it doesn't line up on the other side, but that is similar spacing to how it works in the Python one. Let's see, does it need to load? Did I save? Yes. Okay. Let's change it back to a capital J. Let's see if we get a different error message. Okay. Oh, go back. Huh. Now it's not updating because we changed it to a capital Java. So it's not being able to build a new one. Should be an object. I was looking at the forums earlier. Let's see. Do they have... I don't know. If I just type it on... Whoops. Just type it into a search. YAML Swagger documentation error. Alright. Let's see what this says. Ooh, Stack Overflow changed a little bit. Well, that's a rabbit hole I don't know if I want to go down. Let's see, I mean, I found markup language. Let's see, what are we even using? Dot YML, not YAML. So already this looks like it could be a different markup language, and I don't know, all of these things are foreign to me, but yeah, it's just having an issue with this not being a project or an object. Hmm. How do I have that? Let's see, if I were to look at one of these stub lines in Python. Okay, so that's good to know. I don't even have the dot slash, so I think I could take that out. I don't think that would really change anything, because it's either here in this directory or here in this directory, so. But, well, and if we go back to their examples, their line has that command example test. Maybe we should put that back in. No, I think this is where it's Javak. So if you look at, well, let's see. Well, adding an exercise. Somewhere I saw Java C. But yeah, if we're looking at how this one works, the command is the interpreter and then the file. So that would be Java C and then our Java file. So if we gotta trick it again, go to comments. Oh, now it won't even let us do that. Alright, now let's go back to Hello World, edit that. Command. Actually, how does it have it? Just copy this and then change it to. Ah. Oops. Oh, we got a raid. Thank you. Thanks for the raid. Welcome. We're just struggling with a couple of bugs, making a playground for CodinGame. Let's see. Yeah, it's not a massive stream, but I don't know. This is one of many in a series to do tutorials that we're doing beginning Java in this one. So I'm trying to figure out, let's see, how to fix this part. Oops. Because I am very foreign with markup languages. So let's change this to Shavak. Hello world. Java. Alright, let's see what that gets us. Maybe a different error message. So, yeah, well, and thanks for the follow, Dimitri. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. Alright, so we're still getting errors, and it's saying, yeah, it's still upset that Java needs to be an object. So if we go back to that, something to do with that. If I'm looking at the Python version, it's okay with this, but I didn't actually declare this anywhere, so I don't know where it's getting that. Oh. Maybe? Do we need to change this into? Let's see. Does that fix it? Oh, we need to give it time to. So let's strip it, go away from that page, and then go back. Then go back into here. Oof. Now. Actually, we might just need to refresh, too, because it's still the same error. It's not picking up if I change that to Java C. So, let's see. No, it still thinks that it's just lowercase Java. Okay, well. Oh, and I'm still working on emotes and fun stuff for the channel, but if you do commands, let's see if it works. There we go. So a few things to play around with. You can flip a table in here. Or is it table flip? Let me look at that real quick. You can at least do quotes. Let's see. And that's in Nightbot. Oh yeah, it's table flip. Okay. There you go. Maybe. There goes Nightbot. Alright. Well, shoot. I might have to do a little more research into this. I haven't really seen any. If you look at the actual, like, where these live. So here's my Python one. Oh, so for those that just joined, I'm working on playgrounds on CodinGame. And so you can go to CodinGame and then go to activities and then learn. Then I actually have a beginner Python playground already featured. So, and this one's up and running. It works. You can actually interact with it. It's ugly because it has a bug here where it has that red thing. But as you can see here, we have a rot13 or a Caesar cipher, and you can actually run it in a Docker element, and then it'll spit out the output. So it makes it really nifty. You can play around with the code. I even made a more advanced rot13, explained some concepts here. You got circular arrays, you got the modulo to make sure that any value, no matter how massive, is still within that circular range. And yeah, as well as a lot more test cases. So if you look at this is actually rot n. Ooh. I thought I changed that. Okay, well, either way. I must not have published the next one. So this is a rot13 with an adjustable key. So you can change how much you encrypt each letter by. If you do 14 values, -1 values. In fact, I wanted to test. Let's do -100 and see if that breaks it. Yeah, it does. So I still need to add a safety catch for anything. I have it right here. If it's less than 1, yeah. But that could be better. But either way, here's the adjustable thing. And this is what I want to do for the Java thing. But before I, actually, let's change that back. Before I publish the next one, see, I published this kind of prematurely. I should have fixed up a few of these last minute things. But I mean, the rest of it's pretty solid. So anyone learning Python or wants to learn Python, go ahead and use this. So, and that's what we're working on now, is a Java version of this. So, and again, that's just CodinGame, activities, learn. You know, there's a lot of stuff. In fact, my next step to figuring out this bug is filtering out just the Java playgrounds that other people have created. And maybe somebody in here answers my question about how to get it to work, how to get it to run. Like, you know, Python's easy because in the instructions, they do it in a Python environment. But if you want to use Java, or actually any other language, let's see, first you got to go to the runner list, and they give you a list of all the different, you know, things you can use. If you go down to Python, it's Python 3.6. And actually, let's look at this. How does it explain this? And let's see if we can kind of compare and contrast. Maybe fix our bug that way. Uh-oh, whoops. Wait, did I want to go there? Oh, you can click the different... Oh. GitHub or Docker Hub. Okay, well in the Docker Hub, this is what I was looking for. It has these instructions. Where does it show? If we look at what I have for the Python, I just have Python 3. I don't You know, it's very strange. But yet it's telling you to do this. Make your runner this. I mean, I guess it has unit tests. So if you go back to the runner list, it doesn't say anything for just a regular Python. Anyways, I'm running into a similar situation with C++ as well. Eventually I want to make, because I'm well versed in the basics of C++ and Java, but you know, I want to work on the more complex concepts eventually. But well, in either way, so that's what we're working on, and where we're struggling. So I'm also taking a different approach too when teaching Java. We're talking about methods, whereas in the Python one, well, if you go back to, yeah, and it's actually one of the newest ones, so it just always pops up without filtering. But yeah, I start talking about string manipulation first, and then get into functions later. So yeah, I don't know. But I think I'm gonna go struggle a little more with this, kind of go puzzle it a bit, but rather than just humming and hawing on stream, I think I might cut it for now. So I appreciate the raid, I really do. But we're cutting around 2 hours, and oh, and all of these are YouTube videos too. I upload all of them, so if you miss anything, so I like to keep them around like 2, maybe 3 hour long videos. But I might be back on later today. Let's see. But for now, I need to figure out what I need to do to fix this. As soon as I fix that, and it's pointing to here, it's got a problem with this, but it's not picking up that I've changed it, so maybe I need to give it some time to cool off, or I don't know, but yeah. Other than that, we've got some... I'm almost to the point where I'm ready to publish it, and then continue to fix it, so, but that way other people can actually... I mean, you could use this link, but every time I make a change, it changes the hash, so there's really no point in that, but... So this won't exist the next time I make a change. But yeah, let's see what's going on in the world of Twitch the next time I make a change. Oh man, need to mute myself. Actually, here's something for you. So I'm going to be back and forth streaming all day. However, let's raid Anthony Wright's code, because he gives me massive raids. And he's doing a 12-hour stream right now, and he's doing much more complex stuff. I believe it's in Python, but he's doing like entire development environment creation, editing, all that stuff. He's made his own several projects, and really interesting guy. So let's actually go ahead and do that, and then I think I'm going to lurk in his chat while I figure out. I'm going to keep debugging this and playing around with it, but for now, let's raid Anthony Wright's code. Did I spell it right? Yeah, because he's really cool to watch. Very entertaining. Let's see, Anthony Wright's code. Alright. Let's turn around and do another raid. With our massive 3 people. That's awesome. No, and I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. I'll be back and forth all the time. Check out CodinGame. Real quick before we do the raid. You can always see the live streams. It'll pop up right here. You got a chat where you can interact with people around the world. But, you know, you'll see this. You'll see the streams right here. So yeah, if you're doing anything nerdy like software, and the only... Let's see. As long as you're doing software and game development and science and technology, from what I understand, you can put CodinGame in your title and stream here as well. So I've been doing a lot of game streams. So, oh, what's up, Chad? Oh, we're just about to raid Anthony. Welcome. Well, I'm signing off for a little bit now. I want to puzzle over Java. We got kind of far. I'll actually go and show that for the raid. So this is what we got done today. I don't know how long you've been here, but we got quite a bit of the basic blueprints for a Java guide for the ground. But I'm running into the same issue that we were having with C++. It's the runner, it's the Docker, it's the Gradle, any number of things. But and I want to make this a little better. Let's look at this real quick. This is ugly. This is massive, huge case statements. So, but that's what I used as an example. It's Route 13, just a lot bigger, a lot longer. But that's what I used in my other Learning Java series before I even knew about CodinGame. So this is already up on YouTube's, the explanation of that, but yeah. So anyways, let's go ahead and let's raid. Did we raid?
Al Gore! Thank you for the raid. Welcome, Al Gore. How you doing? How was your stream? What were you doing? What were you up to?
Oh,
you got a speedy Windows box? Yeah. There Windows update in CI. I think they disable. Do you run your own VM host for pre-commit, or are you subleasing some cloud provider? Do you mean for pre-commit CI rainy day tomorrow? I am hosted in AWS. You can hire me for private. I can hand out Anthong Supremacy t-shirts. Oh no. Oh no. Is 5 seconds a reasonable test duration which creates a virtual and does some pip install? Yeah, but I wouldn't want to sit through a test that slow too many times. But yeah, it's if you want a a full end-to-end test, that's probably fine. The Al Gore, yeah. The man who invented the internet is in chat right now. Making Java Playground tutorial for a CodinGame. Oh, cool, nice. The amount of times Windows installed Candy Crush and CI probably wasted more power than Bitcoin. Nah, that's not true. There's no way that's true.